Yo, so it's day 5 of me yapping till I get a freaking GT3RS. Um, Today we're gonna get straight into it. So today, literally, I didn't do anything but just help around the house and maintain my mental stability, bro. But realistically, I want to talk about something. Like, okay, point of views on relationships. Now, I am not in a relationship, but I want to get this out there. There are a lot of people that I know that are in relationships that they don't want to be in, such as they're always overthinking, they're always like, you know, slowly eating themselves away. And I want to talk about that. So, when it comes, here's like advice, I guess. When it comes to people, right? You can't you can't just force them to act the way you want them to act. So you kind of have to live with their decisions, but you don't always have to be there for their decisions, if you guys get what I'm saying. Like, genuinely, let's say this. I had a friend, right, who always thought his significant other or his girl or whatever was like, you know, texting other guys. And I asked, like, okay, well, what's making you think this? And he basically tells me, oh, she's being distant, she's giving me dry texts, she's giving me this and that, like basically all the stuff you don't want to see in a relationship, right? So I asked, like, well, hey, have you ever, like, threw it out there, like, why she's doing that? And then he's like, yeah, but then it always, like he said, it always reflected back on him. Now, like, that's what some people don't understand. Like, when they're using or turning something around and they're using emotion instead of logic, that's already low-key a red flag. Like, if you're not seeing signs, give it 3 signs. No, me personally, I give it 2 signs. But give it 3 signs and go with your gut feeling. Because I always see most people go through the worst things ever. And whenever they tell me, like, I already see it. I already see how it ends, and I already see how, like, it was going to end. But back to what I was saying. So he tells me, and I'm asking, like, okay, why is she turning this around and making you, like, feel like shit? And he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, I'm not trying to be a bad fucking person or a bad guy, but I'm just saying, like, hey, bro, genuinely, I think she's losing interest. Not because she's turning this shit around, but because overall she's trying to make you look like a fucking horrible person. That's the only way I can see it, right? So, like, if anybody's going through relationships, please, please, please don't let it affect your future. There's been a couple people out there where I know where one relationship has fucked up their whole life. Worse than me. I've never been in a relationship to a point where it fucks with my whole life. And I'm 18, so I guess I'm old enough to say that. I don't know. I'm still, like, young, I guess, but there's a lot of people that go through it when it comes to relationships, situationships, talking stages, whatever's in this day and age. It always goes bad for some reason. And, like, I have a lot to talk about since this is my journey, but mostly there's a lot of people that come up to me for advice, and I'll explain them here. Whoever watches it, whoever's watching this, like, if you're here to take advice, I'm here. But, like, if you are in a relationship, I'm not saying, like, be that guy that has to be 10 toes down every fucking time. But do not let any micro cheating slide, please. I've seen people like let it slide. For an example, there's been a couple people where I've talked to where they let their girlfriends or like whatever, they let them text other people, as in other opposite genders, other dudes, other girls, all that stuff, right? Now, when, okay, so put it like this, alright, hypothetically speaking, if I'm talking to someone, right, and I let that slide, imagine what happens. Oh my goodness, I cannot drive. Imagine what happens if you guys get into an argument, a really bad one. Then she's gonna text other people for reassurance. The other person is gonna tell her to say things to you by, like, support or something, I guess. Then she's gonna say something that's gonna tick you off, leading to another argument, and then next thing you know, you guys aren't really talking to each other anymore, and she's texting the guy that's been reassuring her, and the next thing you know, that last argument that you guys are gonna have, that guy will be there waiting, bro. Well, so anybody that's like going through that situation, please, like, save yourself. But that's all I have for today. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Yeah, later.